Good morning. I'd like to call the first agricultural meeting for the 2026 session to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Carpenter, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen,
Here.
Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Nunn, Senator Reed,
Here.
Senator Richardson, Senator Thomas, Senator Webb, Senator Wilson, Senator Boswell, and Chairman Howe.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we start, will everybody stand so we do the pledge?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started, a couple of house cleaning matters. First of all, thank you for waiting around. Normally we start promptly, but this is a Commissioner Shell's day, and our ag commissioner was doing farm stuff today and was running a little late, so we'll have plenty of time to get through this. Just want to remind everyone about the 24-hour rule for committee subs and committee amendments. I'd like to welcome two new members to our ag committee. Senator Clemens and Senator Thomas, welcome. Glad to have you. We have session intern Kennedy Little. Is she from Moorhead? All the way on the other side of the state from me, but we're so glad to have you here. We have two bills up today. One other thing, there's a Soybean Association luncheon today from 11 to 1 in room 113. Really good barbecue from the joint in Lyon County, which is in my district. So those of you heathens that have to live life tough without having good barbecue up in this edge of the state, you need to make sure that you get in there and get some good real barbecue today. We have two bills up today. Both of them are mine, but before I come down to present, we talk about agriculture being a family affair. And perhaps no more than production agriculture is this a generational family affair. There's a lot of us that grew up walking around chasing after our dads and our granddads and driving them crazy. And then we got old enough to be an asset because we could do things. And then there's a select few of us that get to go and do that as a child in their production with their dads. And a member of ours lost their father this year, Gary Shell, with Commissioner Shell, and I know it's been a tough issue all the way around. I would just like for us to take a moment of silence to honor him. Thank you. Commissioner, you and your family remain in our thoughts and prayers. We have two bills up. First one's yours, Senate Bill 5. You come to the table. I'm going to come down. Co-chair is going to take over. You are going to let me go first, right?
Okay, thank you, Mr. State Senator, and your guests. Would y'all please identify yourself for the record? Then proceed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Vice Chairman Boswell. I'm Jonathan Shell, the Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Kentucky.
Jason Howell, District 1. I want to say a couple of things about this bill that are important to me. Jonathan will get into the guts of the bill. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the Department of Agriculture's lead in this, and everybody's worked on this. LRC staff's worked on it very much in depth. Kentucky Department of Education, when you get the Kentucky Department of Education and you get the Kentucky Department of Agriculture working together hand in hand on something, that tells you that we're in unique air here. There's some things about this bill that I like that I just want to talk about. It's one of the prime goals of Commissioner Shell is to put more of our local grown produce into schools. Obvious health benefits, obvious benefits across the line. But let me tell you where I think this goes. I think this opens the door to expanding out this arena and having more and more of our local produce be able to go not just into schools and hospitals, but to be able to develop and push into the mainstream market. I think it's ironic that this bill's a half page long, and if this thing unfolds like we want over the course of the next few years, it could be the most significant thing that I sponsor for my district my whole time here. But I just want to talk about that part of it, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Shield to talk about the guts of the bill.
Thank you, Senator Howell, and I appreciate the sentiment this morning and the moment of silence on behalf of my dad. I wasn't expecting that, and I appreciate it, and I know how much it means to you, specifically because of farming with your dad, and I love your dad too. Glenn is an amazing man, and absolutely love working with him. He's on the state board of Farm Bureau, and have known him even longer than I've known you, really. If I could take a moment of privilege, Mr. Chairman, and just say how grateful I am to this body in the Senate and the House, the legislature, and our constitutional officers, and the governor for the kindness, the love, and the caring that everybody has taken for me and my family over the last 30 days. This last 30 days since I lost my dad has been quite the blur for me. We have a 1,000-acre farm in Garrett County. We run a lot of cattle, and we have our pumpkin business and a greenhouse operation that's in full force right now. And I can tell you that being ag commissioner is a full-time job, and now being the primary on this operation is now about 3 full-time jobs. And we got plugs coming in today at 11:30. We'll be planting the rest of the week. Been fighting this cold. If you think you've had it rough, and you have, trying to keep propane and greenhouses heated during 0 degrees at night, Jared, Senator Carpenter, it is no easy task. It makes you respect a lot more the men and women who have come before us and had to fight these challenges so much in the past that have had to do it with less resources than we have. And the American farmer, the Kentucky farmer, is the most resilient person that I think in the entire world. And to be able to see the challenges that we have faced on a daily basis through this Winter Storm Fern, I think is what they called it. It's the longest period of time that I can remember of having this type of weather on the ground. And there'll be some benefits from this, from insect control and some weed control and some of those things that I think we'll be able to see into the future. But the challenges that our farmers have faced, especially here in Kentucky and north, have been extremely difficult. And it's stretched as far down as Florida and nipping some of those crops that they have down there. And I don't know that we'll understand the effects of this on an agriculture perspective for many months to come on what it will mean. But I just want to say that I have been on a somewhat of a godly treasure hunt ever since my dad passed on January 3rd. And I want to share 2 things with you all of just the man that my dad was before we get into this, if I could. About a week after he passed, I was trying to find some of the recipes that we use for chemical and fertilization and some of those things just to get ahead and get the information in. And I was talking to one of the county extension agents for UK, and he said, you go check in the gator in the glove box, because that's what he used to drive around. You remember? And I was like, yeah, I remember. So I went and checked in the glove box, and many of you may have seen this on Facebook, but I got in that glove box, and there was a little notebook in there, and it was empty except one page. And on that one page, it had a prayer over our pumpkin crop last year. And the prayer said, Lord, thank you for your many blessings. Please anoint these little pumpkins, that whatever hands touch them, whether it be a child or an adult, and then it listed off 6 things. And it was to become closer to God, to give them the power and the will to be able to speak boldly on your behalf, to make them good, godly leaders, whether that be politicians, farmers, teachers, doctors. It listed off so many occupations. And then it just ended with saying, Lord, I just ask that you bless these pumpkins, that they make an impact for your kingdom. And I could not believe the intentionality that he had in his life, especially in his prayer life and as a Christian, to be able to pray over that. It wasn't for the production of that crop. It wasn't for the profitability. It wasn't for the amount of money or anything that he was going to make. It was about those pumpkins blessing the hands that touched them. And the second thing is that I got to find was I was in his truck looking for just stuff that I may need, and got into another notebook, and he had been having these breakfast clubs at McDonald's. If you're in rural Kentucky, you'll know what I'm talking about. They all go in, drink coffee at McDonald's or a gas station or wherever it is. And for the last 22 years, my dad has been a very devout Christian man. You know, he really radically changed his life. It was like a Damascus Road encounter with Christ like Paul had. It was like a man after God's own heart like King David. And he had a notebook, and it had about 65 names in it that he had been collecting of just people that he prayed for daily. And in my community, there were so many names that I got to call and say, my dad been praying for you. It's untelling how long. And just really warmed my heart to know that, you know, a lot of times people find out bad things about their parents or something they didn't like or something they didn't know. I just keep finding the good things and just blessings throughout this process of trying to mourn and put the pieces back together for my family. And I just want to honor him and have that respect shown in a public way. Because my dad cared about three things. It was his family, it was our farm, and it was his church and his relationship with Christ. And I just appreciate being able to live in a country and in a state that we absolutely understand and value those properties and those principles. And there's nowhere better to do that than in agriculture and with farm families across the state of Kentucky. And so with that, Mr. Vice Chairman, we do present Senate Bill 5
Senator,
today.
if I can
Yes, sir.
interrupt. So I just want to thank you for sharing that with us. And I think we all feel the same way. I think you're about to make us all cry. And it's good tears and such a wonderful testimony. Thank you for that.
Yep, thank you, Senator. With that, we have in front of you Senate Bill 5, and what this bill tries to accomplish is to break barriers and get rid of issues that we have around procurement for our school districts across the state of Kentucky. And we have a grander, larger plan associated with this structure outside of legislation. So looking at how we effectively work on forward contracting with our schools to help with the cost effectiveness of our farmers to be able to gain access into the schools from a cost perspective, from a sourcing standpoint, from connecting our schools and our school nutritionists with our sourcing operations in the state of Kentucky at the Department of Ag through Kentucky Proud and other locally grown sources, and really try to bring an all-encompassing strategy together that is a part of our food as medicine and our school nutrition initiatives that we're working on. I can't say enough great things about the Kentucky Department of Education and the process that we have gone through with them, starting at the top with Commissioner Fletcher and moving all the way down through all the staff that we've worked with. It has been really nice to see the attitude and the understanding. And I just want to give one example of the hardworking people who are over there and how much they care about this. Is whenever we went and talked to them originally, you know, there was no plan. We had ideas. We had things we wanted to talk about. But the attitude that was presented to us is we've been doing this for 30 years. There's reasons why these things are here. We need someone to look at this critically and outside the box to give us ideas as well. And so that was the attitude that we came from the Department of Education with the Department of Agriculture. And I think we've settled on something here that is very easy to work with so that we can see what kind of accomplishments we can make on a very simple change of helping to increase some of the procurement numbers that we have, getting rid of some of the barriers that they face, and to really try and make it easier for them to accomplish what they accomplish. Back during the summer, whenever we presented to the MAHA Commission, the MAHA Task Force with Senator Funky Fromeyer, my general counsel came in and she laid down about 1.5 feet tall of paperwork that these school nutritionists have to go through in order to feed kids in schools. A lot of it's federal, some of it's state, but it's all around procurement, it's all around sourcing, it's all around guidelines and programs that they've put in place and policies that really have created barriers to limit access for locally grown food, to where that we've created conglomerate businesses that are multinational and national companies that specifically put in place barriers for this to happen. And so what we're trying to do here is to start the process of decentralizing this system to where that farmers can have access the way that they need to. And this bill does that in a very meaningful way. And we'll obviously probably come back with fixes in the future as we go through the process of legislative changes. I think that you will find that this is something that is that will get a lot of support from all areas, all political sides, and from not only our school districts and our ag community, but the people as a whole, because I think all of our parents and all of our families want to make sure that if we're feeding anybody the right stuff, it's our kids.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your testimony. And so are we ready to move forward? Senator Howell, you have any? Oh, we have some. I think, okay, first we have some questions. Any from the audience or from the members? Okay. Senator Funky Fromeyer.
Thank you. Thank you for your work and your team's work to clarify what we'll say is maybe simple. But as you mentioned, Senator, it could have such enormous impact. Have you gotten much feedback from some of your work in the last year or so to invite agriculture conversation into the classroom? I think you've done some great work, and are you hearing from parents that are maybe asking for more farm-raised food in the cafeteria?
Yeah, thank you, Senator Fromeyer, and that is another initiative that we've worked on with the Kentucky Department of Education. When I say that we try to create great partnerships, we have done that very effectively with this administration and ours. And the Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher, Lieutenant Governor, and I created our All In for Ag Week last year. We had in March, we had in September. We're having again come the week of March 14th. And what that has done is put a focus in the classroom around agriculture from all levels, K through 12, pre-K through 12. And we are focused on our elementary school kids so that we can get them earlier in life. There is a lot of reasons why we've done this, but we have seen in studies that have been done in other states that when agriculture education is focused on in the classroom, it's a relevant learning experience, or as they call it in KDE, a vibrant learning experience, to where that it becomes relevant in their life. They can see that the math equations equal out to building a barn. They can see that it equals out to feeding cattle. They can see the relevancy in their life and in agriculture for the things that they're learning in the classroom. And they're also learning about how the different foods affect their body, from the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals, and hopefully not only creating lifelong learners, but lifelong healthy eaters in the same process, local eaters as well. Just making sure that they can see their farmer, putting up posters in the cafeterias of the farms in which the food comes from. And we have seen that especially during that week, and we want this to be a year-round thing, but especially during that week of All In for Ag Week, our school nutritionists have gone above and beyond in creating locally grown foods for that week that they have procured in, and putting up information so that they can know that that came from Fromeyer Farms or from Boswell Farms or from Reed Farms. And it's been really good to see that in the classroom, and I think it has increased their educational attainment as well. Yes, ma'am.
Any other question from the members? I'd like to just make one comment. So you mentioned, Commissioner, that thinking outside the box. And so, we've talked a lot about beef and pork and chicken and vegetables. But one thing that I'm very interested in last year in the United States was $477 million worth of catfish sold in our country.
Yeah.
And I'm actually working on a bill which would allow for largemouth bass and some other types of game fish to be sold in the state of Kentucky. So I've talked to Brandon about this, and I'm hoping as we go through this process that would be something you might take an interest in.
Yes, Senator, I would say we have a lot of states in the country that are very big and focused on our aquaculture area, and especially in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida. And if there's any information that we can help attain for you from those commissioners of agriculture down there, I've got great relationships with them.
Ms. Clark, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell,
Aye.
Senator Carpenter,
Explain my vote real quick, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Shell and I have been close friends for a long time now, and he actually called me during the storm. We had had a little powwow about electricity and keeping the greenhouse heated up during this time. And so I just want him to know how much we appreciate him. And I just want to know, did you ever actually find your dad's chemical recipe after all that other treasure hunts? Are you doing like him and probably going to figure it out as you go, and it'll be just fine?
No, we like many farmers in the state of Kentucky, he didn't write much down. It was in his head. But I do have most of the formulas that I need, yes.
I'm sure you'll be just fine. You got his genes.
Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Nunn, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Thomas, Senator Webb.
Explain my vote, please. Commissioner, I'm sorry I was late. I had to make a living there on Zoom court. The former Senator Judge Gregory, allowed me an accommodation to appear by Zoom today. And I almost didn't recognize you, and I'm glad I didn't wear my ball cap for just unity because you look very nice today. So I think I can say that, but I vote aye.
Okay, well, Senate Bill 5 passes.
Wait,
Are you
hold on.
I thought you, it was like a pause there.
Senator Wilson,
Explain my vote, please. Thank you, Commissioner, and appreciate this bill a lot. I'm from a long line of farmers. In fact, I ran across the only picture I have of my mom and my mamaw actually picking cotton. My mom picked cotton to buy me clothes as a toddler. And we come from Mississippi, where there's a lot of cotton down there. And my son, oldest son, has followed the family into farming. And of course, I still have from his garden some purple hull peas and some, corn that we're still eating on out of his garden. And that's something my dad always had a garden, every year. I mean, tomatoes would be coming out of our ears, and he'd be begging us to take them all the time that we would visit. But I appreciate it because most people, especially kids today, do not know where their groceries come from. They think they come from Kroger. So I appreciate your efforts in education, and especially this and getting it into the schools, along with the MAHA that we're doing in regards to that. I just want to make sure that all Kentucky Proud products are included in that. And thank you again, and I proudly vote aye.
Senator Howe. Motion passes.
Okay, so Senate Bill 5 passes with favorable expression.
Same should
The
pass.
same should pass. Same should pass. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 73 just makes a simple change to the statute to allow for beef tallow-based cosmetic products to be made at home as part of our home-based industry push. We already allow beef tallow products for human consumption, but every item has to be specifically excluded from the statute. So this makes the exclusion for cosmetics made with beef tallow. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
We have a motion on the bill and a second. Ms. Clerk, please call the roll. Are there any questions? Ms. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell.
Aye.
Senator Carpenter. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Nunn. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Thomas. Senator Webb. Senator Wilson. And Senator Howe. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Senate Bill 73 passes with favorable expression and should be moved forward.
Thank you, Co-Chairman Boswell. With no further business before the committee,